Freddie Mercury, the unforgettable voice and soul of Queen, captured the hearts of millions with his powerful performances and unforgettable songs. Yet, it is the intimate secrets he left behind that continue to captivate us even after his passing. In this video, we will uncover the hidden truths that Freddie kept close to his heart. As he faced his final days in the battle against AIDS, Freddie made a deeply emotional request to his beloved former partner, Mary Austin, someone who had been a constant presence in his life. He asked her to keep his ashes in a place so secluded, so private, that even those closest to him would never know its location, guarding it from the eyes of the world. This poignant wish reflected Freddie's desire for peace in a time when AIDS was misunderstood and heavily stigmatized. Mary, now 70 years old, has protected this secret for more than 30 years, holding the key to Freddie's final resting place. In a heartfelt recent interview, she shared the emotional reasons behind her decision to honor Freddie's privacy. Freddie's concern wasn't just for privacy. He feared the intense devotion of his fans could lead to desecration of his final resting place. After his death at the age of 45, Mary kept Freddie's ashes close, storing them in her bedroom for 2 long years as she gathered the strength to fulfill his final wish. When the time came to honor Freddie's memory, Mary crafted a quiet and clever plan to keep everything under wraps. She told her staff she was simply going for a facial, an ordinary errand that concealed the true significance of her departure. She made sure the day remained as normal as possible, keeping the secret of Freddie's burial deeply guarded. Fans have long speculated about where Freddie's ashes may lie. Some think he is resting in Zanzibar, his birthplace. Others believe he may be beneath a cherry tree at his London home. Even when a memorial with his birth name, Farrukh Bulsara, was placed at Kensal Green Cemetery in West London, many fans were convinced they had discovered the truth. But Mary Austin has remained firm in denying all these theories, ensuring Freddie's secret is never revealed. The bond between Freddie and Mary was unbreakable. Though their romantic relationship shifted when Freddie came to terms with his bisexuality, their emotional connection remained strong. Freddie always spoke of Mary with great affection, often calling her his common-law wife and expressing his undying love for her. In his autobiography, he wrote, "There have only been 2 individuals who have given back as much love to me as I gave to them: Mary, with whom I had a long affair, and our cat Jerry." Mary went on to marry Piers Cameron, with whom she had 2 sons, Richard and Jamie. Though their marriage ended in divorce in 1993, and her subsequent marriage to Nicholas Hulford also came to an end in 2002, she has always carried with her the love and memory of Freddie, guarding his wishes with quiet reverence. Despite the changes in her own life, Mary Austin remains the steadfast keeper of Freddie Mercury's most intimate secret, a silent testament to the enduring love and deep trust they shared. Through all the complexities of Freddie's life and his final days, Mary was there, honoring the bond they had built over the years. As Freddie's health declined, his dear friend Elton John found himself in the role of caretaker, offering the same support and love Freddie had shown him in the past. Elton made regular visits to Freddie's home, sharing quiet moments and providing companionship during those difficult final months. Their friendship, built on mutual respect and a profound understanding of each other, was evident as they spent time together, ensuring that Freddie never had to face his struggles alone. One of the most moving moments came on Christmas Day, when Elton received a deeply personal gift from Freddie, one that would stay with him for the rest of his life. A friend arrived at Elton's door with a package wrapped in a simple pillowcase. Inside, Elton found a painting by his favorite artist, Henry Scott Tuke, along with a handwritten note from Freddie. The note, addressed to Elton's alter ego, Sharon, was signed Melina, Freddie's own playful persona. It read, "Dear Sharon, I thought you'd like this. Love, Melina. Happy Christmas." Elton, overwhelmed by the thoughtfulness of the gesture, was moved to tears. He recalled crying like a child when he read the note, touched not just by the gift, but by the deep, selfless love Freddie had shown him, even in his final days. This act of generosity was a perfect reflection of Freddie's spirit, one of kindness and care, even in the face of his own mortality. His legacy extends far beyond his music, leaving an indelible mark on the hearts of those who knew him. His friendship, compassion, and loyalty continue to resonate with those who were fortunate enough to be part of his life. When Freddie passed away, he left behind a lasting gift in the form of his fortune, most of which he bequeathed to Mary Austin. This included a magnificent mansion in West London, worth £20 million, and a share of the profits from his future record sales. It was a deeply thoughtful gesture, symbolizing the extraordinary bond they had shared, one that transcended the boundaries of romantic love and transformed into a lifelong friendship. As Freddie's health worsened due to AIDS, he seemed to have an almost uncanny sense of when his time would come. Mary Austin recalled that he had chosen the moment of his death, his body worn from the battle against the disease. In his final days, his decision to entrust Mary with his fortune was a heartfelt recognition of the constant support and love she had provided him throughout their years together. Freddie also took the time to prepare gifts for his closest friends and family, special presents that would be given to them after his passing. Among those recipients was Elton John, who had once credited Freddie with saving his life during a dark period of addiction. Freddie's encouragement had led Elton to seek help and check into rehab, a pivotal moment that ultimately changed the course of Elton's life. The gifts, like the love they shared, were a poignant reminder of Freddie's profound impact on the lives of those he cared about. The early days of Freddie Mercury's battle with AIDS were marked by a profound sense of secrecy, fear, and confusion, both for him and for the world at large. At a time when the understanding of HIV and AIDS was minimal, the virus was shrouded in stigma and misinformation, and its victims were often treated with fear and judgment. Freddie, one of the most beloved rock stars of his time, was no exception. As early as 1982, Freddie began to show signs of the illness. According to biographers Matt Richards and Mark Langthorne in Somebody to Love: The Life, Death, and Legacy of Freddie Mercury, he secretly sought medical attention in New York City for a white lesion on his tongue, which may have been an early indicator of HIV infection, possibly hairy leukoplakia. At this point, the virus was still widely misunderstood, and public knowledge was limited, so Freddie kept his symptoms and concerns hidden from the world. It was during Queen's final American tour in 1982, following their appearance on Saturday Night Live, that Freddie's symptoms seemed to worsen. He had been in close contact with someone who was recently diagnosed with HIV, but even as his health declined, he continued to keep his struggle private. His decision was likely influenced by both the lack of understanding about the virus and the prevailing social stigma surrounding it. The idea of being diagnosed with AIDS in the early 1980s was not just a health crisis, but a deeply personal and social one as well. By October 1986, the British press had caught wind of rumors regarding Freddie's health, suggesting that he had been tested for HIV at a renowned Harley Street clinic. These reports hinted at a growing concern for his well-being, but the details remained murky. It wasn't until April 1987 that Freddie's condition was officially confirmed as AIDS, a diagnosis shared by his partner, Jim Hutton. At the same time, Freddie publicly claimed to have tested negative for HIV, a stark reflection of the confusion and uncertainty surrounding the virus and its diagnosis at the time. The rumors about Freddie's health became a relentless part of his public life. His gaunt appearance and Queen's absence from the stage fueled speculation, and former lovers added fuel to the fire with sensational tabloid stories. By 1990, the press was awash with questions about his condition, and the public's concern grew. Yet Freddie and his inner circle, including his bandmates, continued to deny the rumors, keeping the truth private for as long as possible. His choice to remain silent about his illness, while deeply personal, also contributed to the lack of awareness around AIDS during that era. Freddie's decision to keep his condition private was not without consequence. Some have suggested that his secrecy hindered AIDS awareness efforts at the time. However, it's essential to recognize that his silence was likely driven by a desire to protect the people he loved from the scrutiny and fear that surrounded AIDS. Freddie's priority was always to shield his family, friends, and fans from the painful reality of his illness, even if it meant bearing the weight of his struggle in private. Brian May, Queen's guitarist, later revealed that the band had known about Freddie's illness long before the public did. This revelation highlights the depth of their friendship and the trust Freddie had in them, even as he kept his illness out of the public eye. When the news of his condition eventually became public, it marked a turning point in the fight for AIDS awareness, but it also served as a reminder of the challenges faced by those living with the disease during its early days. Freddie's final moments were captured in the music video for These Are the Days of Our Lives, filmed in May 1991, just a few months before his death. The video, which features Freddie's fragile appearance but vibrant spirit, serves as a touching tribute to his enduring strength, resilience, and commitment to his fans. Even as he faced the devastating effects of AIDS, Freddie continued to give everything he had to his music and his legacy, a legacy that goes far beyond his iconic performances. Freddie's journey through the early days of the AIDS epidemic is not only a testament to his courage in the face of a misunderstood and stigmatized illness, but also serves as a poignant reminder of the challenges faced by millions of others during that time. His life and legacy remain a powerful symbol of the fight against AIDS, as well as the love and compassion that continue to shape the world today. Freddie Mercury's final appearance in the "These Are the Days of Our Lives" music video is one of the most poignant moments in the history of rock music. Visibly frail, Mercury's once powerful presence had been diminished by the ravages of AIDS, yet his spirit remained undeniable. Clad in a waistcoat adorned with playful images of cats, designed by Queen's costume designer, Diana Mosley, Freddie exuded vulnerability and grace, a reflection of his deteriorating health. But even in these fragile moments, his connection with his fans, his bandmates, and his artistry was as strong as ever. The video's director, Rudy Dolezal, described the filming process as being intimate and unspoken in its acknowledgement of Freddie's condition. Although AIDS was never directly mentioned, those present knew of Freddie's battle, with only a small circle, including the band and his closest friends, fully aware of the extent of his illness. Freddie had consciously chosen to keep his condition private, echoing his sentiment, "I don't want to put any burden on other people by telling them my tragedy." This decision was reflective of his characteristic strength and desire to protect those around him from his suffering. Despite his waning health, Freddie showed remarkable professionalism. He had requested that the filming be kept brief, yet when it came time to record the final lines of the song, he summoned the strength to ask for one more take. The lyrics, "Those days are gone now, but one thing's still true when I look, and I find I still love you," encapsulated the essence of his feelings at the time. In those final seconds, he poured every remaining ounce of energy into giving a perfect, heroic performance. After delivering the lines with grace, he collapsed gently into himself, laughing softly, leaving an unforgettable image of resilience and strength. Staring directly into the camera, Freddie's final words were a heartfelt whisper, "I still love you." It was a powerful declaration of affection for the fans who had supported him throughout his remarkable journey. These words became his final message to the world, marking a poignant and bittersweet end to a legendary career. With a snap of his fingers and a flourish, he walked out of the frame, leaving behind an indelible impression of artistry and love. Rudy Dolezal reflected on the filming as a summation of Freddie's entire life, encapsulating his journey as both an artist and a person. In those brief, final moments, Freddie conveyed more than just the completion of a music video. He left behind a message about the importance of not taking fame too seriously, and above all, a message of enduring love for his fans. Freddie's determination to keep working, even in the face of terminal illness, demonstrated his unyielding dedication to his music and his audience. His artistry was not merely a career but a testament to his character, one that would inspire for years to come. As his health continued to decline, Freddie remained resolute in his commitment to music. Even when the rest of Queen was ready to record without him, Freddie insisted on contributing, making short appearances in the studio when he was able. Brian May, Queen's guitarist, recalled how Freddie encouraged them to write more music for him to sing, showing no fear as he continued to push himself to the limit. His determination and passion were sources of inspiration for everyone around him, reminding them of the strength and courage he exhibited, even in his final days. Freddie Mercury's last moments on camera, as captured in "These Are the Days of Our Lives," are not just a reflection of his deteriorating health, but a testament to the artist's enduring spirit. His love for his fans, his commitment to his work, and his ability to find beauty and grace, even in the face of immense personal tragedy, remain an unforgettable legacy. Freddie's final message, spoken with grace and strength, continues to echo in the hearts of those who remember the music and the man behind it. Freddie Mercury's final years were marked by a remarkable combination of resilience, humor, and a desire to maintain control over his life and legacy, even as his health deteriorated. Justin Shirley Smith, who assisted with the final recording sessions, vividly remembered the atmosphere being far from somber. Instead of dwelling on his illness, Freddie brought his trademark sense of humor to the sessions, often making those around him laugh. As Shirley Smith recalled, Freddie's attitude toward his illness was simple: "I'm not going to think about it. I'm going to do this." This approach embodied Mercury's refusal to be defined by his suffering, maintaining his focus on the music that had always been his passion. During this period, Mary Austin, Freddie's former partner and lifelong friend, became a crucial figure in his life. She frequently visited him at his home in Kensington, providing comfort and care during his final years. Her presence was a stabilizing force for Freddie, offering him emotional support as his health worsened. As his illness progressed, Freddie's vision deteriorated, and he became bedridden in his last weeks. Despite enduring immense pain, he chose not to seek treatment that might prolong his life, instead opting only for painkillers to ease his suffering. On November 22, 1991, just days before his death, Freddie Mercury made the decision to publicly reveal his diagnosis. He summoned Queen's manager, Jim Beach, to his home in Kensington to prepare a statement confirming that he had tested HIV positive and had been living with AIDS. This statement, released the following day, came as a shock to the public, as Mercury had kept his diagnosis a closely guarded secret. In his message, Freddie called on people worldwide to join the fight against AIDS, a cause that was tragically personal for him. His decision to finally speak out reflected his desire to raise awareness, despite the fear and stigma that surrounded the disease at the time. Sadly, just 24 hours after releasing his statement, on November 24, 1991, Freddie Mercury passed away at the age of 45. His death, caused by bronchial pneumonia, a complication of AIDS, came in the presence of his close friend, Dave Clark of the Dave Clark 5, who had been keeping vigil at his bedside. As Mary Austin bore the heartbreaking task of informing Freddie's parents and sister, the news spread rapidly, with reporters and television crews arriving in the early hours of November 25. Freddie's refusal to become the object of pity during his illness was a defining aspect of his final months. He kept his diagnosis private for as long as possible, unwilling to allow the media to exploit his vulnerability. In a 1999 interview, Queen's drummer, Roger Taylor, recalled Freddie's determination to maintain his dignity and independence despite the challenges of his illness. Freddie's primary wish was not to be seen as a victim of AIDS, but as a vibrant, dedicated artist who continued to work tirelessly until the very end. Even as his body grew weaker, Freddie never stopped pursuing his passion for music. He continued to engage in recording sessions for Queen, contributing to their work as best as he could. Just 6 weeks before his death, the band released the powerful single "The Show Must Go On," a fitting testament to Mercury's unyielding spirit and commitment to his craft. The song's lyrics, which reflect his struggle and perseverance in the face of adversity, take on an even deeper resonance when viewed in the context of his final days. Freddie Mercury's journey through the final stages of his life was one of incredible strength and grace. Despite the physical toll of AIDS, he refused to let his illness define him, choosing instead to live as fully and artistically as possible until the very end. His decision to keep his condition private, his resolve to continue working, and his final message of love and awareness all contribute to the lasting legacy of a man who was not just a legendary performer, but also a symbol of courage, dignity, and the enduring power of music. During the recording of Queen's "The Show Must Go On," Freddie Mercury's deteriorating health was becoming increasingly evident, leading to concern among his bandmates, especially Brian May. However, in true Freddie fashion, he responded to these concerns with characteristic defiance and spirit. "I'll do it, darling," he declared, ready to continue despite his physical condition. After downing a shot of vodka to steady himself, he entered the recording booth and delivered an extraordinary vocal performance, a testament to his unyielding artistry and commitment to his craft, even in the face of such adversity. Despite his strength, there were clear signs that his health was failing. During the recording of "Mother Love," Mercury found himself unable to finish the final verse. In a rare moment of vulnerability, he told May, "I'm not feeling that great. I think I should call it a day now. I'll finish it when I come back next time." Tragically, there would be no return. Freddie Mercury never made it back to the studio, and it was left to Brian May to record the poignant final verse of the song, making it a bittersweet moment in Queen's history. Freddie's battle with HIV/AIDS was grueling, and it revealed the devastating toll the disease takes on the body. Unlike many illnesses, HIV doesn't directly cause death. Instead, it severely weakens the immune system, making the body vulnerable to a host of infections and cancers that would usually be controlled. One of the earliest visible signs of Freddie's illness was Kaposi's sarcoma, a cancer often associated with HIV/AIDS, which caused lesions on his skin, particularly on his upper body. This was just one example of how HIV ravaged his body, turning what would have been minor infections into life-threatening complications. As his condition worsened, Mercury faced a range of debilitating symptoms. Brian May shared a particularly poignant moment in a 2017 interview with the Sunday Times magazine, recalling how Freddie once described the condition of his foot, saying there was very little left of it due to the ravages of his disease. It was a sobering reminder of how HIV/AIDS was mercilessly eroding his health. Mercury's openness about his struggles, even in the face of such pain and indignity, reflected his strength and willingness to face his challenges head-on. Ultimately, it was pneumonia, a common but often fatal complication of AIDS, that took Freddie Mercury's life. His weakened immune system was unable to fight off the infection, leading to his passing on November 24, 1991, just 24 hours after publicly revealing his diagnosis to the world. His death marked the end of an era for Queen and left a void in the music world that could never be filled. Mercury's sexual orientation and relationships were often subject to speculation, but the complexity of his identity defied simple labels. While many consider him to have been gay, others suggest that he was likely more bisexual than gay. Freddie's relationships and sexual experiences challenged the binary categorization of sexuality prevalent in his time. His experiences exemplified the spectrum of human attraction, showing that identity is far more nuanced than society often acknowledges. Freddie Mercury's life was an embodiment of living authentically, unapologetically, and with a defiant refusal to be confined by society's labels or expectations. In the end, Freddie's courage in the face of such adversity, his commitment to his music, and his unflinching approach to his personal life left a profound legacy. His journey reminds us of the power of resilience, the strength to live fully despite the most difficult circumstances, and the timeless impact of his artistry. Freddie Mercury's relationships and emotional connections were as multifaceted as his legendary musical talent. One of the most enduring and profound relationships in his life was with Mary Austin, his former fiancée. Though their romantic relationship ended, their bond remained exceptionally strong, and he often referred to her as his soulmate. Mercury once expressed that he could never love a man the way he loved Mary, underscoring the unique and deep nature of their connection. Their relationship was a defining part of his emotional life, and even after they parted ways romantically, he maintained a strong affection for her. Despite his deep emotional connection to Mary, Freddie's physical attraction was primarily directed toward men. He fully embraced his homosexuality, embarking on a long-term relationship with Jim Hutton, who stood by him during the last years of his life. Jim provided Freddie with companionship, care, and love, offering much-needed support as his health deteriorated. However, even as he built this relationship, Mercury continued to consider Mary Austin his soulmate, reflecting the complex and non-binary nature of his emotional and romantic connections. In a remarkable gesture of gratitude and devotion, Freddie Mercury made Mary the natural heir to his fortune, a clear testament to the profound impact she had on his life. His story challenges conventional views on sexuality and relationships, illustrating how human emotions and connections cannot always be confined to societal labels. Mercury's openness in navigating his complex identity, especially in an era that was less accepting of diverse sexualities, is a powerful testament to his courage and authenticity. Mercury's vocal talent has long been a subject of fascination and admiration. Recent research has added a new dimension to our understanding of his exceptional abilities. A groundbreaking study, conducted by researchers from Austria, the Czech Republic, and Sweden, explored Mercury's vocal capabilities. Published in the Journal of Logopedics Phoniatrics Vocology, the study examined the nature of his voice, revealing new insights into its remarkable range and mechanics. Although the study did not conclusively confirm the belief that Freddie Mercury had a vocal range spanning 4 full octaves, it did offer fascinating findings. For instance, the research indicated that, despite being commonly classified as a tenor, Mercury was likely more of a baritone. This conclusion was drawn from an analysis of his median speaking frequency, which was found to be 117.3 Hz, a frequency more typical of a baritone. This discovery, alongside Mercury's own anecdotes, such as his reluctance to perform an opera duet because he believed his fans would not recognize his baritone voice, highlight the versatility of his vocal abilities. The study also aimed to understand the distinctive qualities of Mercury's voice, such as his unique growls and vibratos, by enlisting professional rock singer Daniel Zangerborg to replicate his vocal style. This innovative approach provided a closer look at the mechanics behind the singer's extraordinary technique, which continues to inspire musicians and vocalists worldwide. Freddie Mercury's legacy, both as a person and an artist, defies easy categorization. His complex relationships and his unparalleled vocal ability have left an indelible mark on music and popular culture, reminding us that true artistry and identity cannot be confined by simplistic labels. Freddie Mercury's life and career were filled with moments of both brilliance and personal struggle, and as his fame grew, so did the challenges of maintaining privacy and normalcy. Some aspects of his life, particularly his sexuality and health, were things he tried to keep hidden or private, even as his public persona was larger than life. Despite being open with his close friends and those he trusted, there were certain things he kept guarded for various reasons, including the intense scrutiny that came with his celebrity status. For much of his career, Freddie was known for his flamboyant stage presence and exuberant personality, but behind the scenes, he was more private and introspective. His sexuality, for example, was a subject he did not openly discuss in the early years, particularly during the 1970s and 1980s, when the LGBTQ community faced significant stigmatization. While he was romantically involved with both men and women, Freddie's relationship with Mary Austin, his longtime confidante, remained one of the most significant and enduring of his life. Yet, even as he formed close relationships with other men, including Jim Hutton, he didn't fully embrace the label of being gay for public consumption. Additionally, his health issues, specifically his diagnosis with HIV/AIDS, were kept largely private until near the end of his life. Mercury's decision to conceal his illness from the public eye, especially during the late 1980s when he was visibly frail, was likely motivated by a desire to maintain his legacy as a vibrant performer and to shield his fans from the harsh reality of his condition. This secrecy was also a way for him to protect his loved ones from the invasive nature of media attention. One of the most endearing aspects of Freddie's character was his loyalty to his friends, which was exemplified by his friendship with Princess Diana. The daring attempt to take Diana to a gay bar was a testament to his empathy and his desire to provide her with a sense of normalcy away from the relentless paparazzi. This story reflects the complexities of his private life, how he navigated the boundaries between his public persona and his personal relationships. Despite the things he chose to keep hidden, Freddie Mercury's authenticity, talent, and deep emotional connections with those he cared about continue to shape how he is remembered. His ability to express vulnerability and strength through his music and relationships adds depth to his legacy, ensuring that he remains an icon of both artistic achievement and personal courage. In the comments section, it's interesting to reflect on the themes of privacy and the pressures of fame. Many artists, like Freddie, face the tension between their public identity and private realities. What do you think about how Freddie Mercury navigated these challenges during his career? Let's continue the conversation.